You wouldn't be waiting for someone by any chance? Someone named Brian?
Why?
I'm him. I'm Brian, actually. Are you Kenya?
If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the results of 100 battles. Sun Tzu. Sun Tzu's quote emphasizes the importance of self-awareness and understanding the external factors that can influence our success. Welcome to Manager Highlights Daily. I read How to Be Irresistible to White Men, Interracial Dating Secrets of Asian Women, Black Women Who SWIRL Should Know by Lisa Marble. So you don't have to, because that's why we are here, to provide you with the information and tools so you can protect yourself at all times. So yes, we bought the book. Yes, we paid for it. And I read it from cover to cover because we care about you and we want to provide the best information we can to help you out. There's no need to review this book from a red pill perspective because this book is red pill. Many things we highlight about that dating foolishness is in this book. The reason why we decided to highlight this book is because of this video we made.
It's easier to meet a white woman or sometimes Hispanic women because black women have so much attitude when you're out or you're walking.
Energy. What you mean by that?
We made a whole video presentation explaining what a bad attitude is and why it's a turnoff to men in general. In that video, I specifically mentioned swirlers and the advice these swirlers give each other regarding bad attitude. That's why this book is pure gold, because it provides great insight into what women, black women in particular, have to do to attract men, white men in particular. That's why it's interesting study material, because it will give you a better understanding of why this space keeps growing, why more men are opting out, and why women want us to shut the F up. Now before we get into this, we chose this book because it was published in 2013, making it a decade old and interesting compared to present times. The book, titled How to Be Irresistible to White Men, Interracial Dating Secrets of Asian Women, Black Women Who SWIRL Should Know by Lisa Marble, has a great rating on Amazon and positive reviews. It is written from the author's personal experience, which I find engaging, but I acknowledge that what works for her may not work for others. We can't see her. We do not have any information about the author's physical appearance. We don't know where she ranks on a scale of 1 to 10, so it's difficult to assess how her experiences might differ from others. Although the book is not highly sophisticated or data-driven, I can confirm that the information provided is generally accurate. But she left out important information that all women should know. I wonder if she left that out on purpose because it hurts. More about that later. Overall, the book is an easy read. You don't need to be an Einstein to understand how men work, but some readers may benefit from additional background information and context. So in this video, we're going to highlight the most important things that we as men can take away from this book and use to protect ourselves. If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the results of 100 battles. Now it's time for us to get into this and do what we gotta do, because we men, ain't we? We men, ain't we?
Finally, and I cannot stress this enough, if you want to attract and date white men, you have to ditch the drama. When men think about dating Asian women, they're not worrying that she will have baby daddy drama or oppose everything they say just for the sake of it.
Lisa, the author of the book, a black woman who is into white men, but as she mentioned in the book, not any old white man. And I quote, "I was specifically attracted to white men who were tall, had wavy sandy brown hair, light eyes, and lean to medium build." End quote. Sounds familiar?
What are you doing here?
It's Chad. Now let's take it a step further, and I quote, "Personality-wise, I prefer the artsy hipster type who would ideally match my entrepreneurial drive and spirit, so we could be untethered from quote-unquote normal adult trappings and travel the world together," end quote. Even though she's into white men, she's still not looking to date a bus driver. So we're talking about high value men right here, because she was attracting men. She was not invisible, but she is looking for the creme de la creme. Not the average Joe, but the high value man. The guy from Sex Life. Now her roommate, an Asian woman by the name of Shorty, basically became her Yoda, so to speak. And that's interesting because just like the intro quote of this chapter, when men think about dating Asian women, a bad attitude, masculine energy, combativeness are not the first things that come to mind. So it's a no-brainer that a woman that wants to learn to attract men, high value men in particular, is gonna learn from an Asian woman. Shiori was successful in attracting the white men Lisa wanted, and this is one of the first lessons Shiori taught her.
It's not just about flirting, Lisa. If you want to be attractive to men, you've got to figure out what he finds attractive and become that. Her words stung, and I could feel myself recoiling and instantly rebelling against her advice.
This is the part that's mind-boggling to me, because even a kid can figure this out, right? But at the same time, it's an immature person that's gonna feel like rebelling against this advice. And to take it a step further, this person probably learned and experienced otherwise. Like she mentioned in the book, she was able to get boyfriends without putting in work, without effort. The reason why Shiori's words stung is because they are true. And that's where the insecurities come in, because she knows she's not that woman. And she describes what high value men are looking for in a woman.
The men at the top of their financial and physical game will prefer you to be in good shape, slender and toned, and won't give you the time of day if you are grossly overweight or obese.
She also addresses the stat of 80% of African American women being overweight or obese, and that this extra weight is encouraged among the sisters. It's seen as an asset. This is 2013, man, and this information has been here for centuries, and these PhDs can't figure this out. And this is my criticism of this book. Nowhere does she mention especially high value men prefer younger women. Nowhere in this book does she talk about the Great Wall. Even Helen Smith in her book Men on Strike talks about a man looking for younger women between the ages of 25 and 35, because she has talked to all kinds of men to get a better understanding of men in general. This is essential because older women become invisible to the Chads and Tyrones, no matter how good looking an older woman is. Just ask former supermodel Paulina Paraskova. She cannot get the high value man she wants, and she looks very good for her age. She needed to let the world know that she is invisible and that looks are not the only thing that matters, even though she benefited from her looks for decades. In modern Western society, women in general have this selfish and entitled attitude. Modern women are not here to give us what we want. They have the mindset that they are the prize, and they don't give a shit what men want because a man has to accept them for who they are. And when you tell them that they have to change their ways to get what they want, you get exactly what Lisa said. Women become rebellious. You must be intimidated by me. You must be fatphobic. Who hurt you? Your mama black. They start shaming men for having standards, preferences, even having an opinion is toxic. So Lisa adjusted her attitude to become attractive to the men that she desires. But the most important step she made was to put in effort. That's the hardest part. She put in effort to transform into the woman men desire. Most women that read this book will not put in that work. They love the idea of dating high value men, but the effort it takes to transform into the woman these high value men want leads them straight to the body positivity movement. That takes us to the next chapter.
On the spectrum of femininity, from most feminine to least feminine, you have Asian women, then Hispanic women, white women, and last, black women. As you can imagine, such a perception does not bode well for black women and works extremely well in the favor of Asian women.
Feminine is the key, is the most powerful chapter of this book. She really describes the importance of femininity to men, in this case high-value white men, and how modern feminism has encouraged women to be unfeminine. She indirectly mentions the Manosphere and the passport bro ideology. Check this out.
A surprisingly large amount of white women do consider themselves feminists and extol unfeminine characteristics. Meanwhile, their men are having online and offline discussions about the sad state of affairs and are plotting their escape route. I've seen the calls to abandon white women for other more feminine and ladylike women from abroad in the forums with my own eyes.
Women come to this space all the time to get a better understanding of men. Unfortunately, most modern women can't handle the truth because they have to transform. Men are not looking for men in skirts, and it's not just the masculine energy of modern women. It's also that feminist mindset modern women have. Lisa talks about how modern women, in this case white women, do not value marriage and family, and are very aware that in a divorce, they can take half of a man's assets to maintain their comfortable lifestyle. Look what happened 10 years later, a full-blown passport bros movement. Modern women beefing with Filipinas, not understanding that these women bring the femininity men in general desire. Men are willing to travel to get some of that femininity, and the word is spreading like wildfire. 10 years later, bridal stores are closing their doors. Men are opting out. They would rather play Xbox, PlayStation than Russian roulette. The juice ain't worth the squeeze. If you look at the advice Lisa is giving women to become more feminine, she encourages women to look at older movies. Movies from the 60s. Exactly those days where women still had style and grace. Exactly those days these feminists complain about. Exactly those days where women were happier. Why do you think we do these movie breakdown videos? Movies reflect a society's values, beliefs, and attitudes towards various issues such as race, gender, sexuality, and politics. Sex life says a lot about the times we are living in. Movies can also influence society by shaping people's beliefs and perceptions about various issues. Why do you think these movies portray men as buffoons who can't even tie their own shoes, and women who are always smarter, stronger, Mary Sues? This is the engineered poison the elites inject into society. Femininity is the key. Men don't care about college degrees, careers, and how much money a woman makes. Life is about balance. Femininity is supposed to complement masculinity.
Men have made the message loud and clear that they value this trait in women, but for some reason women haven't been paying attention. The women who have realized femininity is an asset in the dating world are winning. It goes without saying, that's Asian women. The old unfair adage that minority women will need to have something a bit extra when compared to white women for men to step outside of their comfort zone is entirely true. That is, if the guy doesn't have a specific preference for black women. It is imperative to remember that you're competing against white women, Asian women, Hispanic women.
Like I've said in the intro, this book is red pill. She keeps it 100. If you really want to help people, you have to be honest. Can you imagine a doctor telling you everything is just fine so you can feel better while you are actually suffering from a serious medical condition? That's not gonna help. This book confirms a lot of things we've been saying in this space for a very long time now. And it's clear that she has done research in the Manosphere to get a better understanding of what men want. Her book immediately confirms that women are women first. Even though modern women of all races get attention from men, they are looking to date men at the top. High value men. Good looking men. She confirmed these men have options. That's why these women cannot expect these men to simply fall into their laps. They love Ciara and Russell Wilson, but ask them, how are you gonna accomplish this? And this is your answer.
So then we just sit and wait.
Yeah.
Women, see,
Here we go.
listen, here's the thing. Women are different than men. We don't need to go out looking. We could walk out and have them come to us. So we
Of
don't
course,
need
I
to
agree.
compete. You guys need to compete because we don't come to you as often.
Yeah.
So we don't, we just
Yeah, there's
sit
all-
there.
This book is not about attracting the average Joe. That's why you need to be careful with dating coaches, because a good looking person is gonna have an easier time attracting the opposite sex. What works for Ciara doesn't work for Oprah. Oprah made a lot of money. She's one of the most famous and richest women in the world. But none of these men that most women want were looking to date Oprah. So it's a competition and women need to compete for the creme de la creme. That's why your looks matter. These fat body positivity women learn that they can love their body, but men don't have to accept it. Sisters are at the bottom of the totem pole, so they have to work harder and smarter. Listen to this.
She always finesse with going where the men she wanted were had been instilled in her from her sisters, friends, aunts and mother, to the point where it was natural for her to go places and do things that would be considered for white people.
We always mention the sisterhood, how women keep women single, but also the impact of culture on female behavior. The reason why men go overseas is not because the women are different. No, the society and culture is different. That's why you never bring your foreign wife back to the West, because she will become just like these modern Western women. This is why it's very hard for modern women, and in this case black women, to transform into the women these high value men want. It is part of their upbringing. It is learned behavior. It's the example set by your mother, your aunts, your friends. Lisa explains that women that change their mindset need to bring this mindset, this femininity, into the relationship. It doesn't stop with dating. And that's where the fear of these women comes from. The fear of rejection, the fear of not being good enough, the fear of being hurt. That's where this hookup culture comes from. This body positivity movement, the shaming tactics, the need to be right. It's a coping mechanism. These women are scared and lazy. It's easier to blame men for their problems and price themselves out of the market instead of taking responsibility. What I want you to understand is that this book was written 10 years ago and things didn't get any better. I hate to break it to you, but things are only gonna get worse. That's why you need to take action. For me personally, I wanted a family and I made my choice to go where I'm appreciated. It's been working for me. That does not mean it will work for you. There's nothing wrong with going your own way, fellas, but it is wrong to waste your life. You can find joy in many things in life, such as exploring new places, learning new skills, or making meaningful connections with others. Embrace the opportunities that come your way and find joy in each experience. Remember, we managed, we see. Manosphere, we working. Protect yourself at all times. This video has officially been highlighted.